the Piker Defense Academy. My name is Anand Kumar Barik, and today we are going to discuss on an important topic. And let me tell you, today we'll keep it very short and crisp, just according to the SSC GD soldier syllabus. That is not in very in depth, but I'll guide you, and you will come to know about the direction of your preparation, about you are on the right track or not while doing the preparation, and you'll get the overview or an idea about this topic, Panchayat Raj. Today's topic is Panchayat Raj, or sometimes you can say it Panchayat system. Now, once Mahatma Gandhi had said that if the Panchayat Raj will established, then the public opinion can do what violence cannot do, which means in Hindi, right, महात्मा गांधी ने ये कहा कि अगर पंचायत राज की स्थापना हो जाती है तो लोकमत वो कार्य कर सकता है जो हिंसा कभी नहीं कर सकती. Now the two things we have to understand in these lines of Mahatma Gandhi. First is the public opinion and the second is the panchayat system. Public opinion, जिसको हम लोग हिंदी में कहते हैं लोकमत, it's a very important thing to know. Like public opinion means the participation of peoples in democracy. You participate, how you participate in democracy, how you share your problems, how you said that what kind of problems you are facing in the country and what kind of development you need, what are your priorities. These things we can only share in democracy. Other countries or the other system of government doesn't give you this freedom to share your opinion. So the public opinion is important to know, like which kind of development we need, what are our priorities and what kind of problems we are facing. If we will share our problems or our needs, then only government can act. And the second thing, in these lines of Mahatma Gandhi, we have to understand about the panchayat system. Now he emphasized on panchayat system. If you will listen the line again, that if panchayat raj will established, then public opinion can do what a violence cannot do. So the first priority or the first जो पहली शर्त है, the first condition for the freedom of public opinion is panchayat system. So we'll read now, we'll study, we'll discuss about the panchayat system, why it is important as a system. We have Sansad, we have Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, we have central governments, we have state governments. After all these governance system, after all this structure, why we need a panchayat system? So we'll discuss on these things. First of all, the evolution. Evolution of what? Evolution of panchayat system. Here I mean to say that the panchayat system is not a new phenomenon in this country. In ancient times or in ancient India, in medieval India and in modern India, we always encounter this system, we always see this system which is called panchayat system. In ancient India, which I mean to say in Hindi, जो प्राचीन काल में जो भी संस्थाएं थी पंचायत सिस्टम की, वो तब भी काम करती थी. But the difference is what you see in the present day, the panchayat system was totally different from the panchayat system in the pristine time, in the ancient time. So what are the changes? Like in ancient and medieval India, the panchayat system was dominated by the caste system. You already know the social fabrication of India. It was divided in the caste, like there were 4 varnas in our society. So the most upper caste or the people who called the Swarnim Jati, they dominated this panchayat system. In medieval times, though it was changed a bit, but we can see the elderly people of a village, they make a council, they make a group, and they call the panchayat system. Means they known as the panchayat system at that time, and they dominate this system, they take care of this system. In modern times, when the Britishers came in India, due to some socio-economical changes in the society, this system was deteriorated. The system was kind of, we can say the system was get finished. But after independence, the government of India again explore how the panchayat system can contribute in the development of the country, or how with the help of the panchayat system a democratic decentralization can be done. So after the independence, first thing I told you that It was not a new phenomenon. Panchayat system you can see in your history books, like in ancient times, in medieval times also there were panchayat system. But after independence, because this panchayat system we are seeing now, the working condition of the panchayat system, what you are experiencing now is a phenomena which starts after the independence. So after independence, after independence of India, how the panchayat system got a flip. Flip, I mean to say, like I told you that in ancient times it was dominated by some group of people or by some caste. It was affected by the caste system. But after the independence of India, the system got a flip. Now, how this system is works and how it comes to in the scenario of political system or administrative system of India. So after independence, the government tried to explore the role of panchayat system in the development, in the grassroots. So why the government wants to establish this panchayat system? The first question comes to our mind is this. So why we need a panchayat system? I'll tell you point by point why we need a panchayat system, or like why the government want to establish this panchayat system. As I told you, Mahatma Gandhi what said about panchayat system, that if it will established, then the public opinion can do what a violence cannot do. So panchayat system gives the freedom of participation. As we already know that democratic system is a participatory system. Every citizen of this country participate in the decision making process of the country and the development of the country. So this central government and state governments don't ensure the full participation of the citizens of this country. Why? Because most of the population or the largest percentage of the population comes from the rural background. They vote for the government, but they don't participate in the governance. You have to understand this, that they vote for the government, but they don't participate in the governance, which means they don't participate in the directly in the development process of the country. So to ensure their participation in the development process, we need panchayat system, because democracy is all about the participation of the citizens. So to ensure their participation in the development process, in the problem solving process, what we need? We need panchayat system. Second one, why we need panchayat system is decentralization, जिसका मतलब हिंदी में होता है विकेंद्रीकरण करना. Decentralization means, right, the power should not be accumulated in the hand of some group of people or only with the central government or state government. The power should be distributed among all the citizens or the group of other groups and communities in rural areas, in urban areas. So the power and the power means the political power, I want to say, and the economical power, both should be distributed among people. It should not be accumulated in the hand of some group of people. Okay. So the second point is decentralization. To ensure the decentralization of political power and the economical authority, we need participation. For the development of the rural areas or the villages, they need economical strength, they need money. So they can't, means it will be not good to always ask to the state governments and central governments for money. हमेशा हाथ फैलाना सही नहीं रहेगा, इससे डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस और लेट हो जाएगा. अगर हर डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस के लिए, किसी भी उन्नति के लिए, अगर हमेशा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, केंद्र सरकार या राज्य सरकार की तरफ हाथ फैलाना पड़े या उनकी तरफ देखना पड़े कि पैसे आएंगे तभी विकास का कार्य शुरू होगा, तो ये मुमकिन नहीं होगा. मतलब ये विकास का कार्य तेजी से नहीं होगा. और जिसके पास पैसा होगा ऑब्वियसली वही तय करेगा कि विकास का कौन सा कार्य होना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if the money is in hand of state government, then the state government will decide what should be done first in the village, in a particular village. For example, the people of village wants to establish a school for the children of this village, but the state government decided to make a road. So what is the need of that kind of development? We need a school, but we are getting a road. So financial decentralization is must for the development. अगर आपके हाथ में पैसा है तो आप ही तय करेंगे कि आपको पहले किस चीज का विकास करना है. So दो चीजें हैं, एक है पार्टिसिपेशन और दूसरा है डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन. फॉर व्हाट? दिस पंचायत सिस्टम वी नीड. मतलब ये एंश्योर करता है कि आपकी भागीदारी भी बढ़े विकास के कार्य में और डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन भी हो. ए डेमोक्रेटिक डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन विल बी ए करेक्ट फ्रेज. सो ये है इवोल्यूशन ऑफ पंचायत. तो मैंने कहा कि गवर्नमेंट पंचायत सिस्टम को लाना चाहता था. द गवर्नमेंट एट दैट टाइम आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस वांट टू एस्टैब्लिश द पंचायत सिस्टम. रीजन मैंने आपको बता दिया. द रीजंस वेयर to maximize the participation of the citizens, especially of the local people, of the rural people, है ना. ये जो participation है इसमें हमेशा याद रखना, the participation is for local people, और इसीलिए हम इसको local governance भी कहते हैं. This is also called local governance. So to ensure the participation of local people, of rural people, and to ensure the local governance, the government thought that we need panchayat system. And the second one is decentralization, democratic decentralization, to ensure the freedom to use the money, और जो उनकी वित्तीय स्थिति है उनको सही करने के लिए डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन जरूरी था. तो दूसरा पॉइंट अब यह आता है, हमें यह समझना है कि इसको सुनिश्चित करने के लिए, टू एंश्योर दैट व्हाट आर द नीड ऑफ पंचायत सिस्टम, एंड टू नो दैट हाउ वी कैन इंक्रीज द पार्टिसिपेशन ऑफ द पीपल थ्रू द पंचायत सिस्टम, वेदर इट विल वर्क और नॉट. दीज आर द क्वेश्चन फेस्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट एट दैट टाइम. सिर्फ डिसीजन ले लेने से तो नहीं होगा. द गवर्नमेंट वांट टू एस्टैब्लिश द पंचायत सिस्टम, सो इट कैंट हैपन कि वन मॉर्निंग द प्राइम मिनिस्टर गेट अप फ्रॉम द बेड and he decided to establish the panchayat system in whole country. This kind of things don't happen in the government. So what they do research. They try to find out the answers of the questions, like why we need panchayat system, how we can increase the participation and decentralization. Does really the panchayat system will do the work in grassroots level? क्या वाकई में जमीनी स्तर पर पंचायत सिस्टम काम करेगा अगर ये established हो जाता है? Third, if the panchayat system will establish, does it affect the work of central government or the state government? So these type of questions were faced by the government just after independence. So what they do, they established 4 or 5 committees in the different period of times, in the different interval. So these committees did research and they tried to find out the answers of these questions. So we have to know about these committees. So now we'll discuss about the committees, different committees. Most of the times in exams they ask about the committees, like which are the committees you see in the options have give recommendations about the Panchayat Raj system. So the first and the most important committee is the Balwant Rai committee. Balwant Rai committee was established in 1957. What is the important thing in Balwant Rai committee is that Balwant Rai was a parliamentarian and he is known as the father of Panchayat Raj system. If you will get a question in your paper that who is called as the father of Panchayat Raj system, then you should know the Balwant Rai is known as the father of Panchayat Raj system. Why? Because Balwant Rai committee is one of the first established committee in this country to inquire about, to research about the Panchayat Raj system, and the Balwant Rai committee was established to suggest, to first of all to examine and to suggest the credibility, or you can say the workability of Panchayat Raj system. So Balwant Rai committee was established in 1957, and the second important thing is Balwant Rai is known as the father of Panchayat Raj system. So what Balwant Rai committee recommended about the Panchayat Raj system, है ना? Recommended मतलब सुझाव क्या क्या दिया? First of all, he said that a tri-structure administration administration tri-structure administration system should be established, यानी त्रिस्तरीय संरचना की स्थापना होनी चाहिए एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन सिस्टम की. So what were the tri-structures? First comes the Jila Parishad, and it is the district level. And you should remember this recommendations was given by the Balwant Rai that a tri-structured administration system should be established in the country, especially in the rural areas system. So this is Jila Parishad, जो कि district level का होता है. Then comes पंचायत समिति, ये block level का होता है, or you can say ward level. And the third one is Gram Panchayat, the smallest unit of the administration tri-structure administration system. And these are the three levels given by the Balwant Rai, that to ensure the development in the rural areas or in grassroots level, we should have these three structures of administration. One is Jila Parishad, that is district level. Second is Panchayat Samiti in block level, and the lowest and the smallest unit of this administration system. And the most important, because this Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, which is the smallest unit of the administration system, ensure the development in the grassroots level, just where we need the starting of the development system starts from here in Gram Panchayat, in village areas. So Gram Panchayat is responsible for the development process or the problem solving, resolving things in village. Panchayat Samiti is the block level, which means जो बहुत सारे गांव को मिलाकर एक ब्लॉक, और फिर जिला परिषद is the district level. So this is the tri-structure administration system given by the Balwant Rai. Other recommendations are also there given by the Balwant Rai. It will be a very long process to discuss about this, all the recommendations. So just one recommendation is important here, this one, tri-structure. The second recommendation he gave, that the system, the rural system or the rural governance should have the freedom of, or the financial freedom, should have the financial freedom. What it means? It means that there should be a system by which these Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and Jila Parishad can earn money by the different type of taxes, like tax on roads, on community hall in villages. So with the help of these things, they can earn money and they can use the same money or the finance in the development process of the village. Okay, one more thing is there, that after Gram Panchayat there is one more unit that is called Gram Sabha. आपको ये थोड़ा सा याद रखना होगा कि ग्राम सभा में क्या होता है. ग्राम सभा is the members, Gram Sabha is a group or the members of the village whose name are in the voter list, who are above the age of 18. So they participate in the development process. For example, ग्राम पंचायत है, उनको कोई डिसीजन लेना है, कोई निर्णय लेना है, तो उसके लिए क्या होता है कि ग्राम सभा, यानी कि 18 साल से ऊपर जितने भी लोग हैं गांव में, वो सभा में बैठते हैं, डिस्कशन करते हैं और फिर डिसाइड करते हैं कि इस पे किस पे क्या निर्णय लेना है, क्या चीज़ होनी चाहिए, क्या नहीं होनी चाहिए. सो ग्राम पंचायत के नीचे भी कोई एक स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट है, दैट इज ग्राम सभा, जो कि एक मंडली है या ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल है जहाँ पे डिस्कशन होता है ग्राउंड लेवल पर. ठीक है. सो ये कुछ चीज़ें हैं. इन्होंने ये भी बताया, द बलवंत राय कमेटी हैज़ आल्सो मेंशन्ड दैट जो इलेक्शन है फॉर द ग्राम पंचायत, ये हर 5 साल में होना चाहिए, एंड द इलेक्शन कमीशन शुड डिसाइड और टू सुपरवाइज द इलेक्शन प्रोसेस ऑफ द ग्राम पंचायत. सो बलवंत राय कमेटी 1957, एंड द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग टू नो इज ही इज द फादर ऑफ पंचायत सिस्टम. ये important है, एग्जाम्स में यही आता है. So this is about the Balwant Rai committee. Though there are some more recommendations given by these committees, but it will be a lengthy process, or the class will get lengthy if I will discuss all the recommendations given by the Balwant Rai committee. So we'll come to the second committee. So after giving the recommendations by the Balwant Rai committee, you should know that the recommendations was not always implemented by the government. Different government comes and they go, they read the recommendations, but they don't make they don't convert these recommendations into laws or in articles. So they just read the recommendations, they discuss on that, but they don't convert these recommendations into law. So don't know the reasons, but the government again established one more committee to know about the workability, feasibility of the Panchayat Raj system, and this committee is known as Ashok Mehta committee. Same for the Panchayat Raj system, it was established in 1977. The third one, you should know about the committees because sometimes it comes in exam like which committee was not related to the Panchayat Raj system. So you should know what are the committees related with the Panchayat Raj system, so you can do the odd man out in the exam, in the options. So Ashok Mehta committee 1977, and then the third committee is GVK Rao committee, and it was established in 1985. And then comes the L.M. Singhvi. L.M. Singhvi committee, which was established in 1986. It was established in 1986. So these are the four committees. First, I told you about the Balwant Rai committees. That was the most important committees because it was the first ever committee for the Panchayat Raj system. It was established in 1957. Then comes the Ashok Mehta committee in 1977, GVK Rao 1985, and then comes L.M. Singhvi in 1986. One more committee is there, that is Gadgil committee, which was established in 1988. It is a little bit important committee because it recommended that the Panchayat system, the Panchayat Raj system should be mentioned in constitution. मतलब इसको एक संवैधानिक दर्जा प्राप्त होना चाहिए. It should be a constitutional body because we have committees, lots of committees you can see, they have recommended lots of things, but these recommendations were not converted into the law at that time. So we need that it should be converted, the recommendation should be converted into act so that the states in the country should follow to establish the Panchayat Raj system. It should be mandate to them. It should be compulsory for the every states so that we can ensure the development at the grassroots level only. So Gadgil committee recommended that it should be a constitutional body. It should be mentioned in the constitution. So here comes a turning point in the Panchayat Raj system, and what is that turning point? We'll discuss on that now. So these are the committees. I hope you have written these committees. Now we'll discuss about a very important thing, that is the Panchayat Raj system got a mandate, got a constitutional privilege, constitution provision, not provision, I'll say constitutional privilege, that it was mentioned in the constitution so that it will be compulsory for the every and each states of this country to follow the Panchayat Raj system. Okay? Before that, before coming to the constitutional body or how this the recommendations becomes acts or laws and how the Panchayat Raj system becomes an act, before that I'd like to mention Article 40 I personally want to know about you about the Article 40. You should know about this. So Article 40 in DPSP, which the full form of DPSP is Directive Principle of State Policy. Okay, so DPSP in the Indian Constitution, these are not acts, these are not law. It was not मतलब enforced to the states. ये जरूरी नहीं कि DPSP में जो भी चीज लिखी हुई है उसको हर स्टेट माने, ये कंपलसरी नहीं है. So DPSP क्या है? It's a directive principle of state policy, which means when a state makes any law or scheme or project assignment, anything, it should take some what we can say, it some take some inspiration from DPSP. DPSP mention or tell the states that how should a law or a scheme should be made and should be enacted and how it should be implemented. This gives, the DPSP gives basically the directions or a guidance, like what kind of law you should make for the betterment of the society, what kind of scheme a government should launch for the upliftment of the society. But it was not necessary to implement by the states. It is not enforceable because these are not acts. So in DPSP itself, in Article 40, it has been enjoined, it has been written that the state shall take steps, the state shall take steps to organize village panchayat, the state shall take steps to organize village panchayat and endow them means to village panchayat, endow them with such powers and authority as may be necessary to enable them to function as unit of self government. Now what it means, now you should understand that constitution, before this Panchayat Raj system becomes an act, the constitution had already mentioned in the DPSP that it was, this article already enjoined that the state shall take steps to organize village panchayat. DPSP पहले से ये डायरेक्शन स्टेट्स को देता रहा है कि स्टेट में, गांव में, हर राज्यों के गांव में पंचायत सिस्टम, पंचायत राज होना चाहिए, होना ही है नहीं, होना चाहिए. एंड एंडाउ देम विद सच पावर्स, एंड उनको कुछ पावर्स और अथॉरिटी देनी चाहिए जो कि उन्हें सक्षम बनाए टू वर्क एज एन यूनिट ऑफ सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट, है ना, स्वशक्ति यानी अपनी गवर्नमेंट चलाने में लोकल लेवल पर वो सक्षम हो सके. सो आर्टिकल 40 ऑफ DPSP have mentioned that state shall take steps to organize village panchayat and endow them with such powers and authority to act as in self government. Okay, so it has already been mentioned. तो जब ये पहले से ही 40 आर्टिकल 40 में मेंशन है, then why we need the 73rd amendment? क्यों हमें उसकी जरूरत पड़ी? The reason is very simple that DPSP is not enforceable. इसको किसी पे थोपा नहीं जा सकता. ये एक डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल है, ये सिर्फ आपको रास्ता दिखाता है, गाइडेंस देता है. मानना या नहीं मानना स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में होता है. इसलिए क्योंकि ये एक कानून नहीं है, इसको किसी भी स्टेट ने नहीं माना और ग्रास रूट लेवल पर जो डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस है, हो सकता है वो ठीक से उस वक्त नहीं हो पाया. इसलिए हमें पंचायत राज को एक कानून बनाना पड़ा, हमें इसकी ज़रूरत इसलिए पड़ी. सो नाउ विल डिस्कस अबाउट द 73rd अमेंडमेंट 1992. Now, this is the most important thing we should know in the Panchayat Raj system, because this amendment have assure that it makes the Panchayat Raj an act जिसको enforceable किया जा सकता है, जिसको थोपा जा सकता है कि ये करना ही है. This makes compulsory for every state of this country to establish Panchayat Raj system to ensure the elections in the village, etc. So we'll discuss about the 73rd Constitutional Amendment 1992. So 1992 is the year when the amendment comes in the constitution. So this is the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. We also mention the word Act. So what this Act is all about, the 73rd Constitutional Amendment 1992 Act is all about the Panchayat system. So what is important in this act? As I already told you that the Panchayat system was already mentioned in the DPSP Article 14. Then why this 73rd Amendment Act 1992? Because now we want to give this constitutional system, this Panchayat Raj system a constitutional privilege, which means हम इसको एक संवैधानिक दर्जा देना चाहते हैं ताकि सारे स्टेट्स जो हैं उनके लिए कंपलसरी हो जाए to adopt the Panchayat Raj system. Earlier it was in DPSP and it was not compulsory for the states to adopt it. It was their decision whether they can adopt it or not. But now, after this Amendment Act, it is compulsory to adopt the Panchayat Raj system for each and every states of the country. So it is about Panchayat Raj system, and it makes compulsory for the states to adopt the Panchayat Raj system. It gives this 73rd Amendment gives because after this amendment what happened? The Panchayat system, I'll just write it down in short form. The Panchayat system comes under the preview of justiciable part of constitution and mandate to adopt the Panchayat system for the state. Now what is the significance of this amendment is, now it is very clear that after this amendment the Panchayat systems comes under the preview of justiciable part of constitution, means it becomes a very important part of constitution, and it makes compulsory for every states to adopt the Panchayat Raj system so that the government can ensure the development process is going on correctly on the grassroots level. Okay? And the people in the village and rural areas or the grassroots level people are also getting the dividend of the development process. So to ensure that, this amendment makes it an act that the Panchayat system is a very important part of constitution, and it is important to adopt this system for the every states. Now what more in this amendment? It also ensures that the election process for the Panchayat should be free. It should not be burdened by the states, means without the will of the states, the Panchayat or the village can organize their election system, though it should be superintendent or should be supervised by the election commission. The date should be decided by the election commission. The process and the electoral roll should be decided by the election commission, but the timing and their will, it should be upon the people residing in the village, in the particular Panchayat area. Okay. So the election system is also given in this amendment. And one more thing is about the reservation is also mentioned in this act. Reservation for whom? Reservation for women, जिसके अंतर्गत 1/3 महिलाओं के लिए अध्यक्षता की जो सीट है वो होनी चाहिए पंचायत सिस्टम में. And for SC/ST candidate, as we already know, these are very vulnerable section of the society, of the Indian society. So the reservation for them is needed in panchayat also, so that the development process or the dividend of the development process should also reach to the SC/ST community also. So that's why this amendment is important. But how you get the questions in exam, that what is 73rd Constitutional Amendment 92 Act, what it is all about, and why it is important. So if you'll remember this point, that it makes the Panchayat Raj system and constitutional part, then you will remember everything. It gives the reservation, it gives the freedom to the election process in the Panchayat, and it also mentioned various things like the duration of the Panchayat, which is for the 5 years, the members, which can be vary from 5 to 7 in a Panchayat. Okay. And it also mentioned about the, I'll write it down here only. It also mentioned about the tri-structure, administration structure, which the Balwant Rai has recommended. If you have remembered, I already told you about the Balwant Rai recommendations. So this amendment gives that it should be a 3-level administration system, and that is Jila Parishad, district level, second is Panchayat Samiti, block level, and the third one is the lowest unit of this administrative system, that is Gram Panchayat. So these are the 3-level structure of the Panchayat Raj administrative system. So the members of the Gram Panchayat got directly elected by the people or by the Gram Sabha, which means Gram Sabha means the people residing in the particular village in the Panchayat area who is above 18, and their name is also mentioned in electoral roll. So they make Gram Sabha and they elect the members of the Gram Panchayat. Then comes Panchayat Samiti, which in Panchayat Samiti comes a group of village, and then comes Jila Parishad, which is a district level. The chairman or जो अध्यक्ष हैं पंचायत समिति और जिला परिषद के, they got indirectly elected by the people. So this is about 73rd constitutional amendment. Now what you should know, like in detail, try to read about the 73rd constitutional amendment. You will get the information from net also. I'm just telling you the track, the route you should take to understand this panchayat system and what you have to read in detail. So this is the 73rd constitutional amendment. So after this amendment, what happened in the country? The first thing you should know, that after this amendment in 1959, 2 states comes out to adopt the Panchayat Raj system. So Andhra Pradesh and this Rajasthan. These two were the first states to adopt the Panchayat Raj system in India. If you'll get a question in exam that like which states adopt Panchayat Raj system first, so you should know that is in 1959, Andhra Pradesh and Rajasthan. These were the 2 states in whole India who adopt this system, who adopt the Panchayat Raj system in 1959. In Rajasthan, that too in Nagaur state. I think the spelling is Nagor, I'm not sure. I think नागौर हिंदी में उसको इस तरह से लिखा जाता है. नागौर में सबसे पहले राजस्थान में जो है पंचायत राज सिस्टम की स्थापना हुई. Then other states comes out, they followed this system and they established Panchayat Raj system, though their structure were a little bit different before 73rd amendment. But after the 73rd constitutional amendment, in whole India, this structure becomes equal for every state, like this tri-level structure. But you should remember some districts or some panchayat areas where the population is less than 20 lakh, the intermediate level doesn't come there. Only 2 tier system apply on those areas where the population is less than 20 lakh. So in 1959, two states were the first in India to adopt the Panchayat Raj system. But do you know that still in India there are lots of states who do not adopt the Panchayat Raj system? Now the question arises, why these states don't adopt the Panchayat Raj system even after the constitutional amendment? And the second question arises in your mind, that which are the states who don't adopt this Panchayat system? So we'll answer these questions in very short. So in constitution, you should know that there is fifth and sixth schedule areas. In later classes, when I will make more videos, I will make detailed videos on fifth and sixth schedule areas of constitution. But now only you should know. I'll tell you in short that there are some areas known as fifth and sixth schedule areas, which is mentioned in constitution. So these areas are some of the areas which don't adopt the panchayat system in India. For example, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Mizoram. These are the areas which comes under the sixth schedule of the constitution, and they don't adopt the panchayat system. Likewise, there are some areas, some states which some areas in lots of states which comes under the fifth schedule areas. For example, some areas of Chhattisgarh, some areas of Jharkhand, some areas of Odisha. These comes under the fifth schedule. In next video, I'll tell you in detail what are the fifth and sixth schedule. But now you should know only about that some areas comes under the sixth schedule of constitution and some comes in the fifth schedule of the constitution, and these areas don't adopt the panchayat raj system. And one UT, that is union territory, is also there which don't adopt the panchayat system, and that is Delhi. These are the direct questions you may get in the exams, that which are the areas or which are the states don't adopt the panchayat system. So you should know that Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram, the areas which comes under the fifth schedule, and Delhi don't adopt the panchayat raj system. So these are some of the things I wanted to discuss with you about the panchayat raj system, states and UTs. So you should know that if you get the questions in exams, like which states or areas don't adopt the panchayat raj system even after the 73rd constitutional amendment. So you should know the Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram mentioned in the 6th schedule, they don't adopt the panchayat raj system. The areas in the 5th schedule and Delhi don't adopt the panchayat raj system. Before concluding my class today, I would also like to tell you one more thing which I forgot while telling you the 73rd amendment, but it's important that in 73rd Amendment Act 1992, what happened after this amendment, that it adds one more part in the constitution sorry, that is 9th part. You may get questions in exam like after this amendment, or what is the 9th part is all about in the constitution. If you get this type of question, then you should remember the 73rd Amendment Act 1992, and it also add 11th schedule to the constitution. Okay, so 9th part 11th schedule is all about 73rd Amendment Act 1992. शेड्यूल मीन्स इसमें लिस्ट दी गई है कि कौन कौन से काम या कौन कौन से कार्य पंचायत राज सिस्टम के अंतर्गत आते हैं. तो इसमें 29 लिस्ट होती हैं 11th शेड्यूल में. एंड कौन सा पार्ट, कौन सा भाग नया बना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में इस अमेंडमेंट के बाद, तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि 9वां भाग यानी 9th पार्ट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. So this was I want to tell you. I forgot while I was teaching about the 73rd Amendment. So this is all about Panchayat Raj system. I just guided you like what we have to cover for panchayat system. Sorry, for SSC GD, you get a track, you get a route, and now you have to follow this route. Like what are the committees, what we have studied, why we need panchayat system, what are the importance of, what is the significance of the panchayat raj system in democratic country. The third thing we learned about the committees and the different recommendations they gave. You have to just remember the different type of committees and the year in which they were established. And the most important is Balwant Rai committee, because Balwant Rai is known as the father of Panchayat Raj, and the Gadgil committees, which recommended or which emphasized that the Panchayat Raj system should mention in the constitution. It should be converted to an act, so that it will be compulsory for every and each states of this country to adopt the Panchayat Raj system. So these are the things. Then we come to learn about the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. What is the significance of this act is that due to this act, panchayat system comes under the justiciable part of the constitution. It makes mandate for every state to adopt the panchayat raj system. And what is the significance, other significance, that it mentions everything about the panchayat raj system, that is the electoral process, the reservation systems, the period of the time period of one panchayat, that is 5 years, and the reservation about SC, ST, everything this amendment mentioned in the constitution. So after this act, what happened? The system of panchayat raj systems becomes equal or the same in the overall, in the whole India. Prior to that, it was not same in every state. For example, I have told you that the Andhra Pradesh and Rajasthan has adopted this system in 1959, means way beyond, before this act comes to the constitution. But what is the difference after the amendment and before the amendment? That some states though adopt the panchayat raj system, but they were totally different with each other. For example, Bengal has 2-tier system, Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh has 3-tier system. Likewise, in other states, the system was different. In different states, the system was different. Various states, various systems. There is no equality, there is no balance. So after this Amendment Act, 73rd Amendment Act, what happened? In whole India, the system becomes same, equal, the same structure, that is 3-tier structure of administration. So this is the significance of the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. So fourth thing what we come to know, that now also in this country, every state does not adopt the Panchayat Raj system. The reason that some of the states, some of the areas were mentioned in the 5th and 6th schedule of the constitution. They are very special areas. So to enforce the Panchayat Raj system, same as like in the other states, is not possible in the areas. So these are the states which have not still adopted the Panchayat Raj system. You should remember that is 5th schedule, areas under the 5th schedule, and the 6th schedule states like Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland, they don't adopt the panchayat system. And one UT is there, that is Delhi, which don't adopt this system. So in next video, I'll tell you about the detail of 5th and 6th schedule, and one more thing is there, that is PESA. This is also related to the panchayat system. In the next video, we'll discuss about these things in detail. For today, this is for today. I hope you understand everything. Thank you for connecting with us. Thank you for connecting with Pica Defense Academy. All the best and prepare well. Thank you.